Hey there folks, I'm Dan Brown from Sort of Interesting, and my goodness me, you're joining me here on a very hot day. I'm reintroducing the Dan Brown monologue series where I just witter on about something that I like, or something that I don't. Nah, always something that I like. Keep it positive. Anyway, without further ado, let's dive straight in, and this is why I love writing. Well, how's this for you folks? Once again I've walked less than 10 minutes from the boat and, well, this is your reward. I mean, that is just absolutely stunning. So, on to the topic. Well, I thought I'd do a quick video about why I love writing, because when I released my book The Narrowboat Lad a couple of weeks ago, a lot of people were surprised to find that it was actually my 5th book that I've released on the Kindle. And, well, something that I am a huge fan of is writing very short stories, and I'm talking 400 to 800 words, like very short stories. And some people call it flash fiction, but I don't really like that term, as it seems to suggest that the actual writing itself has been done quickly. Whereas, I mean, there's some 400 or 500 word stories that I've literally taken weeks to write and still been unhappy with at the end of it. But with things like that in particular, I really do love the fact that you are starting with a blank piece of paper, a blank screen, however you choose to write, and then once you've finished, within a few hundred words, you have created something where, well, there was literally nothing before. And it's that sort of ultimate creating something from nothing that I really do enjoy. And what I try to do with my short stories is write them to have a twist at the end. So in the space of a few hundred words, I'll try and set everything up as if it's leading in one direction, and then bam, in the last paragraph or two, everything changes and is completely different to, hopefully, what the reader was expecting. But I'm certainly not going to say that I'm the greatest author in the world, and I have various levels of success with things like that. But, well, I just enjoy it anyway, and even when things don't turn out right, I mean, I've got published on the Kindle 75 of my short stories in 3 different collections, and those are just the 75 that have made the grade, and you can imagine how many more I've got stored up to edit and try and work into something that I'd be pleased to actually publish. But just the process of writing them itself is, well, like I say, just that creativity of taking something literally from nothing. But obviously something like The Narrowboat Lad, which is based on real life, and it just charts the more personal side of moving onto the boat and the last year that I've been getting used to living on board and all the rest of it. And that I took a lot from my old diary that I was keeping in the first few months of having a boat. And, well, I still keep it now. You may have seen me videos of the thousands and thousands of words I've got handwritten in it. It's it's a nice old-fashioned sort of way to do things. I really do enjoy it. But taking basically real-life events for the first time and writing about them, something as well that I really love about writing is the amount of people who've read the book, who've also seen all my videos. I've been talking about how incredibly personal it seems and what a different perspective it is on the things that you might have seen in my videos. And it's that sort of, there's things that you can write and put into the written words that you can't really say out loud, or you can't really catch in a video. And that's like things like thoughts and feelings that I could stand here and say them to you, but it wouldn't quite sound right, if you know what I mean. And I certainly couldn't just point a camera at something to sum up like, well, today's been a great day, but this is how I'm feeling in like one shot. And I suppose really it's only having that diary to look back on, and obviously my memories of how I was so desperate when things were going wrong and the engine was overheated. When it comes to writing fiction though, what I really do love is the ultimate sort of creativity that you have, and the true editorial total control that you have over what the reader reads. And it's like, well, for example, I mean, just describing a scene like this, for example, my book The Sweet Forest, it's about 17,000 words, so it's a nice quick read. But there's a lot of, well, I suppose really you can say it's a character very similar to myself. You draw your own conclusions when I say that it's somebody who works in a supermarket and spends a lot of time walking in the local woods, and it just charts the story of him trying to live a normal life inside society, but getting increasingly drawn up into the forest and, well, just enjoying time out in nature, really. And, well, I'll let you read it and won't give you any spoilers if you so wish. But writing something like that, for example, where, I mean, I based a lot of it obviously on the places that I know and the places that I'd walked hundreds and hundreds of times over the last few years. But when it comes to writing a scene, whereas now you can see exactly what it looks like here, you can see the trees, you can see the thistles, you can see just the general landscape. But if I was to be doing this in a book and writing where I am now, then obviously you've got the total control over, like, I can describe in detail the things that I think personally are more important and leave out some of the things that may not be that relevant to why I think this is a great place, for example. And it's that, well, I suppose it's that total control, really. I mean, earlier on I was out here and there was a buzzard up in the sky, so obviously I can't show you that now, but if I'm just writing and creating this little environment and this little scene that we can be in now, obviously I can put a few buzzards way up in the sky there, and then we can scroll back down and, I don't know, maybe see some little farmhouse in the distance there. And, well, once again, it's just creating this entire world. And it's the same when it comes to creating characters in a story, like having that ability to, well, without having a physical representation and a physical form, just use your pen and paper or your keyboard and screen to create something from absolute scratch. And, well, I mean, for example, another thing, like, if we come over here and have a look at these thistles, for example, I can show you in incredible detail here on film exactly, I mean, just take a look at that. I mean, how amazing is that? The colours, you got just the intricacy of nature and how it's managed to create something so perfect and somehow symmetrical. And yeah, you can come down here and you can see like a dry sort of, I don't know, old looking leaf somehow that doesn't seem to do justice to the majesty of the thistle itself on the top. And I can show you this and I can talk about it, but the very fact that I'm showing you this and you can see it means that that's exactly what you're going to take away. You've got an image to, as a viewer, say, oh, look at that, I like that because of the colour, I like that because of this, that or the other, or just because of the scene that you know that it's taking place in. Whereas if I was trying to write about that thistle, even though I can tell you and talk about it here, just the fact that you can see it means that you've got that instant impression yourself. Whereas if you can't see it, then I can talk about it and I can drum up different features and really draw attention to the places that I think are important. I mean, for example, all the tiny little hairs on the stem and, well, how it sort of starts to create a little furry, almost fur-like animal element to, I don't know, a giraffe's neck creeping up into the world. But, I mean, that's obviously an example off the very top of my head, so don't take that as an example of how I would write about a thistle. But if you sort of can take away from that what I mean of, without seeing it, without you seeing it, I can create that world and I can create the tiniest detail and change the significance of the different features. And if you apply that to like the wider scale of everything that you write in a fiction book, or even, like I say, just in The Narrowboat Lad, being able to skip over things that I don't think are important or weren't personally important to me while I was on the trip and focus on the things and the thoughts and feelings that I had, which just can't be summed up in video, and I can't point the camera at the boat and go, this is how this day has been. Well, I hope this video hasn't been making me sound like a real pretentious douchebag and a real arty-farty type. But like I say, I suppose that's an example of how I say that there's just some things you just can't quite seem to put into a video and you can't seem to say out loud because it just doesn't sound right. I think I'll wrap things up now because this has probably been going on for a very long time now, so if you've made it this far in, thank you very much for watching. I'd like to thank everybody once again who's got in contact and sent me messages after reading The Narrowboat Lad. I mean, it's a book that's very important to me because, well, I suppose really it's a very short biography of the last year of my life of buying Tilly and trying to settle down to living on board here. And, well, I mean, it's a very personal book, as a lot of you have mentioned to me, and, well, I'm very pleased with how it's turned out. But the reception that it's got, and I mean, it got to #1 in the UK travel category, and well, I'd just like to say thank you. I mean, it really does mean so much to me. And well, I've got more ideas for writing in the works, so hopefully you'll see some more later on in the year. But well, once again, thank you very much. You can find all of my books for the Kindle at danielmarkbrown.com. That'll take you straight to the page on Amazon. I would say check out The Narrowboat Lad. That's my favourite personally. And if you want to read some of my short stories, then 25 Thoughts. That's my favourite short story collection. I'd say the first one I posted and published, 25 Moments, was too much of the excitement of the young Dan Brown being so keen to get something out on the Kindle and just the novelty of that. Whereas 25 Thoughts, the second one, was properly edited and proofread, and well, I really do like that collection of stories, if I do say so myself. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you like the Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and well, follow me on Twitter if you will. Until the next time, well, have a great day, hope you get some nice weather, and I'll see you around soon. Farewell.